I don't. Not on purpose, anyway. He doesn't get it? I'm pretty sure I get it. I'm pretty sure it boils down to when you steal things, they cost less than when you pay money for them. Okay, he gets it. I knew it. My wife accidentally didn't scan her iced coffee and they gave her a 2-year ban from the store. Honestly, that just seems like bad business. Every time your wife walks into the store, she's probably, you know, making the grocery store like $35 in pure profit. They just literally cost themselves, what, like $2,000 just to prove a point? Da-dum, 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 da-dum. My mom will drive back to the store if she forgot to scan one item. I think that's too far. Even if the store... I've had this happen before where, like, I go through the self-checkout and, like, I put my shopping cart on, like, the conveyor belt that goes down to the parking garage, and it locks the shopping cart wheels. Halfway through that ramp, I'm like, oh, I didn't scan the hard taco shells. I'm not going back up. Like, I'm going to get back in line again for the same cashier, and then I'm going to, like, give them the hard taco shells and be like, yeah, sorry, I forgot to scan these. And then, like, the 19-year-old cashier is going to be like, okay, that's $4.19. And I'm going to be on card, please. And then I got to wait 10 seconds for the machine to go. And then I go, oh, I think I did something wrong. But like she actually didn't hit the button to actually start it. And she goes, oh, she hits the button and it pops up instantly. And she goes, oh yeah, our machines are a little weird sometimes. And then like I'd get out my phone wallet and it asks for my fingerprint biometric. And I put my thumb right over the sensor and it says like no match. And then it's like, okay, I do it again and it's like no match. And I do it again and it's like no match because my hands are like a little bit cold. So it's distorted my fingerprint. And then it's like, you've used your biometrics 5 times. Please enter your 24 character long alphanumeric passphrase. And I'm like, oh shit, man. All that just to cost myself money? I don't think so. Just go to customer service next time and ask them to charge you for the taco shells. I'm just going to say, because it benefits me, I'm going to say that it comes out in the wash. I'm sure that there's been times that at the grocery store they've double scanned something. And I just haven't noticed because I'm not, standing, blocking the exit and looking over my receipt like line by line. Now, who comes out ahead eventually? Probably me, because I'm not double scanning my shit at the self-checkout. So I would assume that the cashier has roughly an equal rate of double scanning and non-scanning. That might be a false assumption, but that's the assumption I'm going to make right now. It's called breakage. Your accidental theft is priced in. Well, that's the other thing, right? That shit's priced in, bro. I've worked self-checkout. Your assumption is wrong. What do you mean you worked self-checkout? I worked the self-checkout, motherfucker. You almost got me to hate on someone that's on my side. Because you know what I was about to say? I was about to say you get paid to stand at that fucking desk, and as soon as the red light goes off and the siren goes off that says please wait for assistance, you got to wait 45 seconds before you actually have to be at the kiosk, even though obviously it's the one with the bright red flashing light that's going wee wee. And then it takes a second. I don't even know. It takes 2.5 minutes for you to look up and go, oh, what seems to be the problem? And then you're like, I scanned this wrong. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, this is a big security issue. By the way, our store's password for this shit is 1234 in case you want to do it yourself next time. Or 4 zeros in a row. True. True. Okay, we're so back. Ah. I also want to say, what the fuck is Home Depot doing with the self-checkout, man? Every time I use... And like, they don't even have the regular lanes anymore. I'm not built for this, bro. I can't fucking self-scan an 18-foot long extendable ladder and like some 2x4s. How am I supposed to do that, dude? That's what you're there for. I need help. Checking out a 2x4 is tarot liquid bait ant traps. How'd you get it on the cart? Well, it's like when you go to self-checkout at IKEA, right? Like loading the cart is way easier than unloading the cart. It's like that Carl Sagan bit. You know, if you want to make an apple pie from scratch, first you have to create the universe. Step one of unloading your IKEA cart, at least at the Richmond IKEA, is going to the hospital after you get hit by 11 cars in 10 seconds. Okay, we push. We push. They got me feeling like Meet Joe Black. All I wanted was a Billy bookcase. Related, Home Depot is a snack paradise. They have good root beer there. You are drinking antifreeze, my friend. No! You are going to die. Is it okay if I take online Spanish class in the morning on the weekend? Info? I mean, it's okay, but I would love some more info as well. When you say the weekend, do you mean Saturday and Sunday? Or do you mean one day on Saturday or Sunday? Just Saturday? Saturday mornings? Hours? Info? Hours? $2. Okay, I mean, what time does it start? OMG. Well, I'm not trying to, like, you know, to unveil in the morning. Because here's what, I'm just giving you a little parenting advice, okay? Saturdays, we got a couple of classes, okay? One of them starts at roughly 11 a.m. and one of them starts at 1:30. So what I'm thinking, if the class is very frictionless, if the class that you're in overlaps with either of those classes, I got no problem taking my daughter to both classes and having some quality time. Where it becomes a bit of an issue is if the whole morning I'm on the dad duty and then it's the whole afternoon full of activities as well. 10 to 12? That seems beautiful. Muy bello. That might be Italian. That might not be anything. How the heck will it be a whole morning if it's only 2 hours long? Well, you gotta, it depends on when you wake up, honestly. I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I'm just asking relevant questions. Molto bene. There we go. Itadakimasu. Dom Toretto, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, if you wake up at 10, then a 2-hour class is the whole morning. If you wake up at 5:45, a 2-hour class doesn't even get you to like the normal wake up. But it's fine. Go ahead. Absolutely. In fact, that's good relationship capital for me, because now I've got the space to do 2-hour croquet lessons on a night of my choosing. Push. Push. Hanging out, pro-pegging or anti-pegging? I'm not involved in the community, but I'm pro-pegging. Why would I be anti-pegging? Some other dude's getting fucked up the butt. Why do I care? Doesn't bother me. It's quite frankly none of my business. Even if they make it my business, I don't really care. Ah, no! We were waiting for your approval. All right, well, go for it, brother. Extremely based. How is it based, though? It's not my... It's none of my business, man. Because the bar is low? Is it? I don't know. I feel like if you... Maybe I just am blessed to know some relatively normal individuals. I guess you also never know until you ask. Sometimes I feel like the vast majority of people out there are like very normal. If you ask them how they feel about pegging, they would be like, why would I care? It's not my butthole. But like online, I guess there's a lot of influencers who are like, if you ever watch Star Wars, you're gay. You will never be a billionaire if you've ever subscribed to Netflix, or like insane stuff like that. So I don't know. That's why. Yeah, but that's like 1,000 dudes. There's a lot of dudes who are bad in like other ways too that you never hear about, I'm sure. But like, I think I'm occupying the baseline. I'm not occupying the baseline. Also, I think I have support for the pegging community because as a streamer, I mean, I can only speak from my experience, right? As a streamer, whenever there's like a hot lady on screen, nobody in chat's like, oh, I'd really love her to put on a fucking rubber penis and fuck my butt. Like they're keeping that shit to themselves. Whereas like all the other horny sub communities are putting it on full display, man. Oh, I'd crawl through a mile of broken glass to sniff her toilet seat. Like, you're this fucking disgusting, bro. So I feel like the pegging community is a dignified community, man. They're keeping the business shit in the bedroom, in the boardroom, and the pegging stuff in the bedroom. He's allergic to taking L's. I mean, just in this week, I was proven correct about Bluey discourse. People are now talking about the McDouble being the perfect food nutritionally and financially. Just you wait until Scientific American releases an article that's like Americans wash their hands 25% more than they should. Wait, if that happens, I'm gonna start my own cult because I'm gonna start believing the hype. These things come in threes, man, and we're already on 2 this week alone. You were proven right on none of those things. I mean, you can, the Bluey stuff speaks for itself. You can look at the McDouble tweet. It's cheap. The macros are good. Tastes delicious. Get off Twitter? No, this person agreed with me. Send it, get to safety. Hug the wall. How do I get my wife to stop making me wash my hands so much? You should probably just wash them, but if you're not willing to do that, like, then you gotta, the conspiracy runs deep, okay? So when you're by yourself, you don't have to wash them. That you can get away with that. But the problem is, like, eventually she's gonna get wise because she's gonna be like, hey, I put this bottle of hand soap in your bathroom like 2 years ago and it's still 90% full. What's up with that? So what you gotta do is, like, every time you go to the bathroom, you got to remember to use 2 pumps of hand soap and just put them like right into the sink. And then you got to run the water for like 30 seconds so that it seems like you're washing your hands. And at that point, you realize you should probably just be washing them. But there's one thing that people forget. You do get to miss out on the rigorous task of having to dry them. Your hands come out fully dry. But your wife's going to be like, why are your hands so dry if you just washed your hands? That's why every time you go to the bathroom, you're going to piss your pants just a little bit. So that when she says, why are your hands so dry? You'll be like, oh, I dried them on my pants. And then she'll look at your pants and see the wetness and be like, oh, okay. Crazy tech. What if she smells your hands? Well, then you're in a lot of trouble. It's over then. Then you just lie. Then you just say, oh, I didn't wash them. I washed them before I took a piss. My hands were dirty before I took a piss, so I didn't want to get my dick dirty with my dirty hands. So I washed my hands before I took a piss. And then I didn't wash them after because I didn't want to waste water. We're so back. Hey, Anel, you one of those guys who makes a note of every exit in a building when you walk in? No, but until I was like probably 20, I was just a very anxious child. Some people in chat are going to say, like, what the hell are you talking about? And some people in chat are going to be like, I finally feel seen. I was so anxiety-ridden as a child that I got scared at the movie theater, let's say like age 8, but every time. Not because I was going to be scared by the movie, but because I was worried that the screen was going to fall on the audience and flatten us all. Now, I don't believe in human history there's ever been an example of that. But as a little kid, I was like, there's probably like a 25% chance the screen falls down and flattens the whole audience. What happened to you as a child? So I think my grandma had like crazy anxiety. And then she raised my mom in an anxiety-ridden household. My mom tanked like 50% of the damage, but carries the other 50% with her. So she raised me in a little anxiety type environment. And I'm still teasing apart like how much I've tanked. Because I'm less anxious at 35 than I was at like 5, which is crazy to me. But I definitely, with my own daughter, there are times where I'm like, you can't walk with a straw in your mouth. Because if you trip, the straw might go straight down your throat and poke a hole in your trachea and you'll die. And then Kate's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it could happen, okay? It's probably happened like more than 0 times in human history. Whee! Reasonable fear. So I think just that's what it was. But like my grandma, when I would she took me to see the first Pokemon movie in theaters. She took me to see Toy Story 1 and 2 in theaters. Wasn't allowed to eat popcorn. She was like, if you eat popcorn, you will choke and die. I think if you're like 2, that's definitely something you should keep like an eye on. But I was like, I don't know, I was like 9. It was like all kids eat is popcorn, bro. So instead we were eating fucking Raisinets, fucking glossettes and saltwater taffy and shit. She also would not, well, she would let me eat bacon, but only bacon that she cooked, and she would cook the fucking, all the water out of it. Like it was, she turned it into, she made it, I don't even know how to describe it. You know, like when you bite into a piece of bacon and it's like glass, like it shatters. And to this day, I love bacon like that because she fucking fucked with my psyche in my formative years. Now I'm like, I like chewy bacon too, but like if you were like, what's your favorite type of bacon? I would be like, oh, the one where you take a bite and it like shatters. You know, the one with no texture whatsoever. I'm not saying crispy. I'm saying like fucking desiccated. Wow, you're kind of fucked up. Now you understand why I have some resentment towards chat. And this website in general. Because I got like my own neuroses. And I'm the most normal motherfucker out there. On this website at least, which is crazy to me. I grew up being like the 4th weirdest kid in my class. I was not the weirdest. You know it. If you're like you were the weirdest, you might actually be the weirdest. I wasn't the kid who went around to everybody's table and was like, hey, I'm writing like a RPG fanfic about our class. I just wanted to ask like what weapon you would use if you were trapped in a dungeon. Like I wasn't that kid. I wasn't the kid who pretended to be a ninja in the 12th grade for the entire year. I wasn't the kid who lied about beating up like 20 bullies in an alley on the walk home from school. You know, the kid who's like really into martial arts. Sorry. I'm not trying. Every school, I'm assuming, had like, these are archetypes, right? In the same way, like, you know, horse girl is an archetype. Every class has like one kid who doesn't look like an athlete at all, but is like, yeah, I'm a black belt in fucking some discipline of martial arts you've never heard of. And I'm sure if you saw like a video of the karate class, it's literally just like punching nothing all day. That was me. Horse girl? What is that? There's a girl that like, you know, she's like really into riding horses. Like her whole thing is she's always reading a book with like a horse on the cover. She comes to school like wearing her riding helmet. And we're like, why are you wearing your riding helmet? And she's like, oh, I just came from like horse riding. They're always talking about shit like dressage. Like how boys can be into cars. It's a phenotype. I'm not suggesting that there's anything, you know, untowards about the horse girl. I am going to say one thing. I don't think I've ever seen a horse girl with short hair. And I'm sure that there are some. But there's something about like the horse girl hobby or identity also has them growing hair that's like, it goes all the way down to their ankles. Something interesting about that. Whoa! I think we might just play some Balatro, man. It's been an hour and a half. I've made negative progress. Nah. We can make it. Lock in. You're not even trying? I'm trying in a way. I'm trying as much as anybody is trying at work on a Friday. I'm sitting in the chair. I'm doing my time. Well, hold, 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 hold. Tuesday's the most productive work day. Yeah, I would believe that. I'd believe that for sure. Honestly, it makes sense because I can follow your logic 100%. Monday, you're getting back up to speed after the weekend. Tuesday, you're at full capacity. It's like you just finished the warm up. Wednesday is like, because it's midpoint of the week, oftentimes your office will schedule like the fun lunchtime during that or something. So it takes an extra 15 minutes to prepare for like, fucking Hamburger Wednesday or whatever. Hang on. Friday is just, it's cooked. And then, so I personally think is between, in my limited experience, I think it's between Tuesday and Thursday. And I feel like Tuesday is like October in an academic year. You're like, I'm motivated. I have my 5-star binders. I've labeled all the dividers. I'm taking notes in every class. I have gel pens. I'm using a ruler to underline the title of the lecture. I'm writing the date on every piece of paper. Like, you're still locked in. And then Thursday is like, it's 3 weeks before the final exam. You're like, I can't change my fate at this point anyway, so I might as well just, it's like inertia, right? I'm using a machete to cut through red tape. So true. I want a car with a cup holder armrest. I want a car that can get me there. I'm changing my name from Kitty to Karen. I'm trading my MG for a white Chrysler LeBaron. I'm riding and striving and hugging the turns and thinking about someone for whom he still burns. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. Is that the same song? It's two different songs that are both on the Peloton playlist. Hold, 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 hold. We're going to hold. Hold. Easy there, big fella. This thing's got a mind of its own, man. Hold. No! It's all right. That's what it's there for. Why is it moving like that? It's the ice, bro. First verse, should it be about the hose or the ice? Well, I mean, I don't think this is the first verse, but it's about the ice, man. It's about the ice. I'm not talking about Val Kilmer. Okay, hold. You did not lock in? I'm locked the fuck in, bro. It's hard. It's hard to line it up perfectly here. Give it a little twist, man. No glancing. We're glance proof. Stability. You know what? We can take some good stuff away from that. We got further than we've gotten in a while. Sorry, DL Guiga. I didn't get to see your question. What was DL Guiga's question? Am I crazy to think that it started with NL? What's your go-to color on roulette? Don't make me laugh. It's not green. I mean, are you playing bingo bingo? You playing bingo bingo right now? He's bingo posting. How do you got time to play bingo bingo? Is your daughter at Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza right now? I'm very close to running out of all information I have about Chicago. How do you know Lou Malnati's? There was a decadent period of time in the zero interest rate phenomenon when every YouTuber was buying deep dish pizzas frozen and sent across the country from Lou Malnati's. You know about the White City? Are you talking about having like the adequate committee or whatever? Are you talking about like the invention of cream of wheat, brother? Are you talking about the invention of the Ferris wheel? Are you talking about call United Nations, Colombia? I know what you're talking about. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to the person who asked. No. Who asked? I don't know their name. I just know they asked the question I wanted to respond to. Can you lock in? The proliferation of the phrase lock in has actually done unthinkable damage to the Gen Z psyche. There are some things that like locking in doesn't guarantee victory on. Like you can't just lock in and be like, I'm going to win the lottery today, okay? You can't just like lock in is something you use to paper over the harsh reality that sometimes your best effort for at least a little while is going to result in failure. Hold. Like this ain't like finishing a worksheet in middle school, right? This is actually difficult. You know, they designed those worksheets to be done by sixth graders. Okay, hang on. They're easy. This is tough. Okay, next time. This is made by a sixth grader. What's your excuse then? Okay, hold. As a 28-year-old, you could lock in a little. As a 35-year-old, what do you know anyway? Do you even know how to use the command line? Do you even know how to use a mouse? Or are you tapping on your monitor trying to open up notes? Hold, hold. Hold. I gave it a little too much sauce. Slipped right through. I mean, you got to admit, it's taking quite a vector here. Oh, it's got the front spin, though. It needed back spin. Okay, just don't take the golden path. There we go. We got a little window. Shouldn't I be gaining speed, bro? I'm running downhill. No! Why does this motherfucker have uncapped acceleration? My acceleration's capped. Oh! Try rolling down the hill. Son of a bitch. I got an idea. Okay. Almost. Good idea. Good idea. It's not going to get held there. Plinko! Okay, but I can always rely on the windmills. Hey, Ghost Pepper, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Can always rely on the windmills. I can see it. I can see it with my eyes. It's going to get stuck right there. Oh, what does this thing weigh, bro? It would be faster to just restart. We don't do that here. We enjoy the journey. We don't trick ourselves into thinking that we're actually doing something that needs to be done. We enjoy the highs and the lows. Okay, there we go. If you wanted to finish the game as fast as possible, here's one tip that devs hate. Never start. That's damn true. Sisyphus didn't have hold R either. There were no medieval times. There were no utensils in medieval times. Hence, there are no utensils at medieval times. The devs seem to hate neuron activation too. Yeah, this game is pretty dumb. It would be much better if it was like cerebral, like, you know, an RPG where you fight a water boss and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to use a lightning spell. You know, something like a little difficult like that, like a bit of a puzzle. He gets me. Uncalled for? It was very called for. You're insulting this game. Just because you got no character. This is the problem with the Twitch chatters, man. They get 10 skill points on spawn. They say, you know what? 25 in int, minus 5 in fortitude. Hold, hold, hold. Fortunate son or communist daughter. I mean, I guess like in the whole scheme of things, I'd rather have a fortunate son. Fortunate seems like a trait that could exist if you were really pressed about them being a communist. They could be fortunate and a communist simultaneously. I would rather lock in the exceedingly rare fortunate trait. And then the rest of it, I mean, it's not like being fortunate is going to slow you down. It's going to speed you up. Unbased? I think it's pretty based. I'm not anti-communism necessarily. I'm just saying, like, she could discover, you know, the works of Karl Marx and Engels through the way that you guys did as well. Twitch streaming and Bob's Burgers. You know, it's still there. It's not like it's going anywhere. Unless it's owned by Warner Brothers, which it might be, in which case it might be deleted from streaming platforms. I don't know. We push. Black hole son or nobody's daughter? That's just a real question. Wait, no, it does have son and daughter in it. I mean, I gotta take black hole son on that one, I guess. Bro, we be dead? Yeah. What was the other one? Hungry daughter. Push, push, push. Has he ever been this far? This far back? Once or twice. It's the same thing though. Like this is all a spawn from the real social media trend, right? Where people ask themselves, would you rather have a gay son or like a promiscuous daughter? I feel like I've been losing my mind unless the joke is lost on me. I'm like, why would I care about either? It's none of my business. It's their business, man. I don't get it. I reject the premise of the question. I don't understand why I would care. Hey, Acrylic Arrow, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you, thank you. If you had to pick though, I don't have to pick. You could have both. You could have neither. I don't know. I just don't care. You can reject the premise. Yes, I've got permission to reject the premise. It's called an intellectual exercise. I mean, the problem for me, I guess I'm weaseling out of it, but I'm like, the idea is like, which one is less bad? But like, I don't see any of them as like bad. What do I care? So would you rather have a glass of water or a mug of water? I'm like, I don't know. What do you got, man? We're going to make it through either way. It's a nothing burger. Glass, 100%. Yeah, it was a bad analogy because glass is the gimme. But hold. We don't have any fucking glasses. DoorDash son or Instacart daughter? Instacart daughter. I don't know how to explain it. I'm merely an observer of this. I'm probably not the progenitor of it. Instacart to me seems less morally bankrupt than using DoorDash. Morally is probably not the right word. Spiritually. What's the Instacart business model? Like if you bought $100 worth of groceries at the store, what would it cost to get delivered on Instacart? I honestly don't know. Okay, we'll get the joke answers out of the way. Instacart is usually like a $10 fee and then tips. Okay. Well, I mean, the tip is a gimme. That's baked in if you're ever, getting someone to deliver something to your house, basically. It's like a $5 fee. I don't know if anybody has an answer here. No shot, it's $5. Followed by, it's $2.50 CAD. It's serious, he's squinting. Well, I'm not going to use it. I like going to the grocery store. Like, I'm not saying it's solving a problem that doesn't exist, but it's solving a problem that I don't have. But I don't know, I guess it's like with groceries. Like, you're getting, like, enough food most of the time to cook several meals. Whereas when you get DoorDash, you're usually just buying like dinner for one day. It's like a short-term solution to a problem that you're just going to have in the morning when you're hungry anyway. Whereas at least like if you're hungry and you get Instacart, You potentially solved your problem for like a week. I guess that's why, for me, my gut reaction is your spirit is stronger if you use Instacart than if you use DoorDash. But it's also not fair because I also think your spirit is stronger if you use Uber Eats than it is if you use DoorDash. And that's the same damn service. There's just something about, I mean, I'm not going to bat for Uber Eats. I'm just saying fuck DoorDash even more. And I don't even know why. It's just like a brand awareness type thing. It's a +2, but I don't get it either. I know, man. What about Skip the Dishes? Skip the Dishes, I think, is the most cooked. In Canada, at least. And again, I can't explain why. I guess I just don't like orange. It's vibes based. Yeah, it's just vibes. I don't know. I think I am becoming like a Butlerian jihad guy. And it like couldn't be more of a caricature because I make my living in like the most fucking bullshit tech adjacent industry of all time that's literally ever existed ever. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, I want to see every business with a computer fail. And you know what it is? And it's not just that I think that like some of the businesses are making our lives worse a little bit. It's and this is not fair. This is my own psychosis. It's the thread boys on Twitter. So I'm sorry, if you're running like an AI company and you're tweeting like, you know, like we're the prophets of our times, we're the modern day, like, you know, Thomas Edison, like moving society forward by ourselves and everybody's like conspiring against us and stuff like that. I'm like, I want to see your company fail. Because you're not talking like you're one of us. You're talking like you're our enemy. It gives the idea that you're looking down. Like you see the tweet. I mean, this is bait designed to go viral. The tweet from the guy that was like, one of the scariest traps you can get into as like a middle-aged man is like having a wife and kids and a stable job that pays you 6 figures. And everybody was like, why? And then his reply was like, because it saps your ambition to like start your own billion-dollar company. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, man. I think most people want to have like $1 billion versus, you know, not having money. But like, I don't want to fucking start hey, we deliver some shit you used to only be able to buy in a store. Like, that's not your life, man. Like, it's money, it's helpful, but it's not your life. Your life is like, I don't know, it's based on your values. Some of us, it could be maximizing gooning time. For some of us, it could be maximizing like family time. This mass psychosis of like, you know, oh, you got a job that's like in the top 1%, but you got to be in the top 0.1%. Like that's, I don't know, mass media induced mental illness or something, in my opinion. So like whenever somebody starts like a drywalling business and it, you know, starts with just them in a van, and then 20 years later they have like 10 employees and like a 8-figure net worth, I feel like I'm like, good for you, brother. No disrespect. Maybe it's because they're not writing letters to the editor in a newspaper about how much better they are than people who are just like living their lives and actually keeping society running. I don't know. The Thread Boys have done an incredible amount of damage to my perception of tech culture, in my opinion. I don't mean this to be disrespectful if you're a software engineer. In fact, like, I would be inclined to think that maybe you are more inclined to agree with me, but I'm like, you're banging out code on a computer, man. Like, I'm not saying it's meritless, but like, we should cool it with the self-aggrandizement. Same thing with like stand-up comedians, man. Like, you're up there Telling jokes, sure, it can be bigger than that sometimes, but at the same time, the idea that you're a modern day like philosopher is insane. But like, as always, I think it's just social media. I guess that's what. So a lot of talking just to be like, I think the worst 2% of people on social media have ruined society forever. Okay, now just wait it out for a second. Hold. Try again. Okay, we're going to hold. Okay, we're going to hold on this one. Okay, we're just going to hold. I know we go through this a lot, but like, I just like, and I think the reason it annoys me is because I think if you were like 18 on the internet, you're still figuring out how like society works. You can get a misrepresented view of what normal life is like. But as a 35-year-old, when I see someone whose Twitter profile is like, I sold my company for $300 million, and then I look at their tweets and they're like tweeting 200 times a day, like thread boy blue check bait to get people to sign up for their Medium or Substack newsletter. I'm like, you spent it? Is that what happened? Because like you did it. According to your own principles, like you won the game, and now you're out here like still playing. Like you won dynasty mode, and now you're out here doing like exhibition matches. In a way, I kind of respect the tech people who spend or who sell their company for exorbitant amount of monies and then go crazy. Like there's something honorable about selling email 3 and then being like, I'm dedicating my life to becoming a vampire by getting a transfusion of my son's blood once every 6 weeks. Or yeah, like I'm not saying you got to hand it to John McAfee, okay? I'm just saying that to me seems in a way less spiritually vacant than like, oh, now that I sold my company, I can finally start my newsletter about like the trials and tribulations of the hardest job ever invented, being a founder of a startup in Silicon Valley. I'm not saying you don't have stress and like responsibilities and stuff like that. I'm just saying like, fucking chill a little, man. I don't even know what the fuck Y Combinator is. Did they give the seed money to that startup that was going to reinvent like the grilled cheese or something? Or Juice Row? Did they do Juice Row? No. When you sell your stream, are you going to become a spiritual leader? Unfortunately, thanks to Justin Trudeau, I can't afford to sell my stream anymore because they just raised the capital gains tax. Or if I do it, I got to do it before, I think, like June 24th. So I don't know. This might be like the last 2 months before it gets sold to private equity. I'll buy it. You don't want it. You don't want to know how much I would charge for it, man. You see the S&P 500 right now with the interest rates at like 6.25%. It's crazy. I'm gonna ask something offensive for it. $85,000. I'm going to Dragon's Den. Hold. No, ice, bro. Can we get some kitty litter out here? Hold. You should go public. Dude. It's a good idea. It's IPO season, right? No, it's gray sweatpants season. My mistake. This is Diego Guiga, this is an honest question for you. I'm not trying to say that your life is fake. I know that's the way that people are going to take it. I'm asking it from a position of curiosity. Are there examples of companies for whom the experience for customers got better after they went public? There must be some in the history of markets that we can talk about. Because the stereotype is definitely like, hey, they opened one store. It's the greatest store of all time. It became a phenomenon in the local community. And then they were like, well, I don't want to just have one store anymore. We're going to franchise. So now they've got like 8 in the local community. And then they go like national and international. Then they go public and it's like it's over. But there must be some that went the other way. That was like, this company's cooked, and then it went public, and the money actually helped it like stay alive and serve customers well. Instead of just like, hey, we don't have growth this quarter, let's cut a service that's been free for like 20 years to simulate like the hockey stick going up. Hold. 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 It's going to stick. I'm going to make it. Oh, no. Don't get greedy. There's got to be examples, man. Give me one? Well, that's why I'm asking the dude who's in, finance to give me one. Costco's public? It is, but like, is it better as a result of being public? I guess it's impossible to know. There's examples of companies that customers like that are public. Are there examples of companies customers were kind of like out on and then going public has improved the customer experience? Wait for it. Wait for it. What about Monster? Monster energy drink? Wow. Is it Monster owned by someone? Yeah, the shareholders, bro. I'm just saying, I feel like it should be easy to get that answer. Because I never saw myself getting radicalized to the point, especially as someone who owns stocks, where I'm like, as soon as your company goes public, you're fucking toast.